Be positive all the time. Is that important to be positive all the time? All the time, be happy, happy. I'm thinking, I think people like it for it. I think myself going, I wonder how many times people have actually gone to killing their family going, I'm going to have a happy day today.
I think it depends on your personality. It's like I can take a bunch of negativity, but I think, what am I talking about here? It's like I go crazy when
I look in your eyes, I still go crazy.
like my girlfriend. Let's just say like she's different from me, and that she has trained her brain to deal with the news and whatnot, and she reads it all the time, and then she gives it to me, and I go crazy. So there's an impact. Like I need, like everybody I think has a different tipping point.
What's your tipping point?
And I think I just need to have control of my tipping point. I don't know. I'm just saying my tipping point is more delicate because of my empathy. I'm more empathetic, and therefore I need to shelve some of the negativity, and then come back when I'm ready for it. You know what I mean?
But do you think negative has to be in your life to be having positive?
What's that?
Do you think you have to experience negative to have positive?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, of course.
Then why is there a push in the United States? It's been this way for a long time.
You're talking about like mental illness, I think.
I don't know if we're talking about mental illness. We're talking about maybe
Sorry, go ahead.
a day-to-day living where you can't always have a positive experience on everything. I'm thinking.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that is.
Oh, wait.
How you feeling today, buddy?
How's your brain? Okay.
Feeling very good. How are you?
Good. Thank you.
Why don't you guys go in the back alley and stick those up each other's ass or something?
Let's be positive on everything. I'm thinking, okay, man. I have a hard time with that because not that I want to be negative all the time, but I think there's going to be negative in your life.
You're safe with me, John. Okay, you can be negative all you want.
I'm not the kind of people who go, this
Especially
coffee,
today, because I'm in a
sucks.
particularly pissy mood. And like I said, I'm not going to go into it. But when I am in a pissy mood, I definitely enjoy delving into the negative. You know what I mean? Which is interesting. I think it's because it's like we were talking about the tipping point. You know, when it floods, you're just like fuck it. You just kind of like let it go, and then you kind of rebuild.
You know that song "Let It Go" from Frozen? I was singing it one day outside.
Yeah.
Thinking, John, you're in your 50s now. Maybe you should be singing that song. But
Don't stray too far from this mental illness thing though, because I want to revisit that.
I'm just talking about.
I'm talking about the not just the mental illness, but the reaction to it, right? So what do we do? What have we done in reaction to supposed increase in mental illness in this country? Medicated, right? So you're talking about these people, right? They're like medication, man.
I don't take medication. I'll tell you why.
That's why you can embrace the negative. If you take medication, all it's doing is numbing that side. That's not good. You know what that leads to, in my opinion? It's just like drugs. It leads to suicide because you'll be up here when you're actually like way down here, and then you like skip your medication one day and you're like.
Maybe it's a pop culture reference on that, on
What?
TV, on happiness versus negative. I think what people really want, in my generation, wanted to see was Marsha Brady giving the head to Greg Brady on the
Marsha Brady giving head?
Yeah. We wanted to see something real on
Wait
this.
a minute. Let me make sure what's going on here. So,
Brady
Greg
Bunch.
is the other son, right?
Yeah.
Oh, but they were actually dating, weren't they?
Yeah, but not on TV, of course. And they're all cleaned up and everything, you know. That's the reason.
But that's not your point. You're not talking about behind the scenes. You're saying like if they did it on the show.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think Sherwood Schwartz would have a heart attack. Probably kill him, man. Like Gilligan's Island, Mary Ann finally getting on with the professor.
But you know that the husband was gay, right?
Oh yeah, that was one of the biggest. That's
what I love about that. It's like it's not a conspiracy. What's that called? A scandal.
Yeah, but I think at the same time, I think Florence Henderson was acting long enough. Like Alice, the one who played Alice, she was acting long enough to realize that it's just not deal.
But do you think that what's the word? I was going to say gentrified, but that's not the word. Is it?
No.
What do you think that did to American families? watching basically a gay man and a whatever woman in separate beds together having this like perfect little family relationship. Do you think that took sex out of marriage in a way? Like what, asexualized it maybe? That's what am I looking for here, Doc? I don't know what I'm looking for word-wise, but see, that's what I loved about that movie. I want to know more about words. I think words are powerful.
Well, then you get
I never thought of the fact that like words were created by authors, more or less. Is that what they were saying? Like, why did it? Maybe you can explain this to me. Sorry, I want to go back to this movie because it's a good movie. Why? Because you seem to know more about this kind of shit. Like, why did they need to do that? Like, what were they doing? So they had to like find several examples of the word throughout history in books because that what legitimizes the word.
If enough people say it and use it in society, it becomes legitimate.
Right.
I read that of all things in a senior advanced grammar class. My teacher she was in the grammar.
Yeah, I didn't ever pay attention to grammar.
She and I butted heads and everything because I was grading 120 papers a week, indentured servitude for 1 credit, not for 3 credits, 1 credit, and grammarian.
Yeah, being used.
To give me the experience of how it is to grade papers. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about kids. Sorry, in my
That's
general
what
audience.
internships are, man. That's what you know. How old were you? I don't give a fuck about. I don't care.
I was in my 20s.
Okay.
And I was supposed to grade them on grammar. My thing is, if you can compose 3 paragraphs that are readable, we can get the grammar later. Grammar can be corrected. But if a person can't write a linear thought from point A to point B, we have to go back to composition. Because grammar has nothing to do with that after a while. You can say ain't, you can use improperly placed commas. But if you're making me read the thing going, okay, I know people can't do that. I know there's women in here that told me they couldn't read my composition. I've misplaced modifiers, and my commas are off. To myself going, can you get the general message? She goes, I can't read it. I can't read your paper.
I don't even know what that means. So, do you have a feel for it, or do you actually know? You probably do. I'm just saying, like, I feel like I have a feel for it, but I wouldn't be able to explain what the fuck I'm
Okay, here.
doing.
Here's an example. Suppose that you and I knew somebody, they came by and wrote something down on a piece of paper to give to you and I about their life, okay? Said, please help me. Maybe I am without the apostrophe.
Right.
I can't read it. Maybe I'm going to be in a problem.
what?
Can you help me today? This guy's going to blow my brains out. It's with me. Could you help me? Like something like that, throwing it on paper.
Yeah.
You and I are looking at it going, oh man, they misplaced the word and here. I know people like that. That look at this desperate plea from somebody going.
But what is the correct?
If I can receive
correct
it,
pronunciation of that.
if I-
That's correct.
the idea is
wording.
if you can get your message across to somebody, no matter how bad the punctuation is.
True.
Did
Well, and
you-
there's an art to that, but it's kind of like any art that you should know the basics, or you should know the original English intent first, or sentence structure, correct sentence structure and all that, even back to like super anal, structure, before you throw it all away and do whatever you want, right? Don't you believe that?
I
'Cause
believe
I believe
that.
that about art too.
I believe that to a point, but my teacher and I had a loggerheads on it because she was strictly grammarian. The content didn't matter to her. As long as everything was perfectly placed, I used to go, oh my God. I said to her, we can't even get these kids to write a linear thing, 3 paragraphs about their shoes, whatever it is.
Right.
They can stick with it. We can work with it later. We can get them to, she goes, no. Think myself, come on. Okay, man. We got 2 different philosophical things going on. It's never going to be satisfied. So I had to go with her because I wanted my grade, of course, and 1 little credit, which is against the 13th Amendment. I should take it out to court and go, this violates my 13th Amendment.
Well, so what is it that, explain what it is that aggravated you about that?
The fact that she overlooked a really important thing to me was the idea of being able to stay with one thing for a whole page. We can get to it later, but that's how I still think that way.
Yeah.
Like if you said if I had a pile of papers now, I know people go like this, and circle everything now, everything like this.
Yeah.
Okay, did you read it? I couldn't read it because of the punctuation.
Right.
Okay, I got that. Again,
Right, but did you get there overall?
I gave a lot of them like really bad F's and D's and she had to go back and redo all the papers because we got somebody on the university. You don't have it at high school. Maybe they have the what do you call that thing in high school now? That thing they had, that bullshit testing thing. What's it, Common Core? She got upset because she was told from top, we have endowments coming into this university. We can't have all these grades or F's and D's. I'm thinking, they deserve it. I'm not suggesting. I think if I was taking grammar more seriously when I was going to college, I think I could have done very well with it. But my thing was I kept having fights with people about content versus grammar. We can do grammar. So grammar's important. I'm not saying you shouldn't use a duh.
We do live in a world of content at this point.
But we have.
Do you feel?
I understand that. But you need proper grammar. I got that.
Yeah.
That's why it's called grammarian.
Well, it's a structure.
But
It's like without the structure, it could fall apart.
it's like having somebody from the deep south and somebody from the north talking to each other about something never going to come
And
to
you
agreement.
completely don't know what each other is saying.
We just started to go fishing or hunting. We'll leave that slavery thing alone, man. 'Cause this woman and I, we had
True. Communication is everything.
and so we had
We had it really good for a long time. That's what this movie's about, I feel like. The movie that we watched, it's like that I think was like the peak of creating of our dictionary during those, whatever that was, 40, 70 years. That period was probably the peak
where's that?
of
What period was that?
English-speaking civilization.
When was that? What?
1800, early 1800s, I think it was.
1900?
It was like 18 into 19. It was like, you know what I mean?
What happened to make
It
that
was like
not?
for 100 years almost.
What caused it to happen? What ended it? What was it? Major.
Well, that's what the movie's about. Is that guy? What's his name? I have it.
James Murray.
What?
You mean the madman?
There's the madman, but there's the other guy that they give credit to too. That one that.
James Murray.
Hold on, I'll get there. It's like Winston's. I don't know. Hold on a second. It's right here. What's his face?
It's not Winston from
Winston Churchill. No, Chester. William Chester Minor. Dr. William Chester Minor. Oh, maybe that's the madman.
I met a few doctors that were
Because he's
mad.
the doctor.
I met a few doctors that
I
were
guess they were
mad.
both doctors, though, right?
I guess. Or maybe he wasn't.
Well, the one that said the more impossible, the greater the love, was William Chester Minor. Anyway,
What was it going again? The what? The more the what? Greater the love?
more impossible. Which I tend to agree with, actually. It's really, that's why I sent that to my girlfriend. I think it's really good.
When you go to the
Because
wedding,
our relationship sometimes seems impossible.
whose isn't?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, even like just regular relationships, like
Even Nancy and Ron had one too.
I've lost relationships with men, whatever the fuck you want to say about that. Like,
Uh-oh.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Red
they've just
flag. But you lose them.
they lose their. They just. You feel like it. Well, I mean, maybe it's everybody has their own interpretation of it, right? But my interpretation of a couple of them is that we went, we just like we were on a similar path together and enjoying that, and then we both just we just split for one reason or another,
The thing about language is,
Like my one friend, he married this woman, and they got a little more. They were more, like you were talking about your other friend. Like they were kind of more serious about. He became more serious about going this direction, and he was like very fine with like his heavy drinking and continuing with that. And I was like going on this health road. We just kind of annoyed each other at some point, I mean, you grow apart. It's the same thing with love relationships,
and people spend all this dumbass time.
Like I might end up waking up one day and hating your ass. Just kidding, Jocko.
You say that would be a relief? No.
Oh, good comeback.
That's what people ask
I've been
about.
meaning to tell you something.
About marriages and about businesses and about bands that break up. I go, they just get tired of each other, man.
Yeah. Well, and there's a thing called impermanence. Like if you believe kind of in the wave structure of the universe, like everything's fucking waves. Like everything's got a cycle like this, right? Everything. The sound that's coming out of the light that's going into our eyeballs, the vibrations that are coming off of our bodies, like the cells,
Have a good vibrations.
our heartbeat, everything is some sort of wave. So waves go up and down, right? And so there's impermanence,
You know the song Philadelphia
We're
Freedom?
not we don't like, there's nothing wrong with having a connection with somebody and then not having a connection. That's what that's where we missed the ball. Like, with this, it's like it goes right back to what you were saying about that woman who's like, oh, but I'm so great, I'm so happy. You know, who is that, a woman or a man? I don't know. You know, like that's impossible. You know,
Well,
that's why that seems weird, because it can't be always up. There, you got to come up and down.
You know, it'd be a great double play for something like that. Would be that song, "I'm So Happy" with "All by Myself" by Eric Clapton.
All by myself.
Back to back. Imagine playing that like
like a mashup.
I want to be happy all by myself.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great, dude. You should write that down.
Because there's certain songs like
Can I
that.
take that? Can you steal that?
Yeah.
I'm a DJ, so I'll make that into something. So it's a mashup, is what I'm gonna put down.
The certain
have ideas.
The one mashup that made sense to me as far as music was concerned is whoever put "Sweet Home Alabama" with "Rules of London." That worked out perfectly. I don't know who came up with that. They must have been stoned or something really high to get that connection, because I think whoever did that, somehow they made that thing work. Some songs don't mash up very well. Maybe, I don't know, Monster Mash with the American Anthem.
You can do anything as long as you tweak one of the songs, or both, but maybe more easily, you just tweak one of the songs to kind of rhythm-wise, you know, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But hold on, I almost forgot what it was.
Being a non-musician that I am.
You're not a musician, is that what you're saying? You're an artist.
I can
You can appreciate art, and you can bring it to fruition through your writing, perhaps, right?
I haven't written anything for a while. I need to be serious again.
What, to write?
There's not
Well,
one.
that's all a writer does, is like beat themselves up about not writing.
Am
Am I right?
You're right.
That's what musicians do too, though. I'm a musician and I'm an artist, and all I ever do is to, when are you gonna fucking do art again, or when are you gonna make that song? And it just makes me wait longer. Why is that? Are we afraid to succeed?
No.
Are we afraid that we call ourselves out as what's the word? Imposters?
Here's the deal.
Wait, what's the other song? All by myself and what?
Gonna be happy, da da da. Pharrell Williams, what his name is. I'm so happy, da 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 da. That song came out.
Oh, it's a different song than I had in my mind.
What was it? What songs you had?
Oh, that's Pretty. I'm so pretty, oh so pretty. Sorry. Which one is yours? Oh.
I'm so happy,
I'm so
da
happy.
da 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 da. Yeah. One hit wonder. Yeah.
I'm so happy.
I've met people
I don't know
like.
if I could pull that off. That's a tough one.
Well,
I'll
you
look
said
into
you
it.
could. On Fred.
It's possible.
Put Fred Drenning's Draining. Sorry.
It would be actually really funny. It would be so odd.
I didn't see your name on the video. Sorry. Now you know who you are. By the way.
Well, you put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it'll get a million hits, and then you can start your career, right? And that's what.
No one's gonna watch this. Don't worry. It's gonna be in the dead zone as far as the blank zone of the universe, man. To watch it,
Well, I mean, maybe no one will watch it. That's the great thing about YouTube.
So, Mr.
You just
Erickson,
keep throwing shit out there. It's like fishing. Maybe something will bite eventually.
Mr. Erickson, we want to know how your videos influenced the whatever crime scene that was going. I just put videos out there for laughs. You know what's amazing is when you look at people who write books like Stephen King. You never know how it's going to affect people out here in the world. Because sometimes people make movies with certain viewpoints, and it comes across to the public as something totally different. Like songs are the same way, don't you think? Because when the public gets a hold of your song and everything, they run with it. What do you do to the song? You can't say stop it, right?
That's been a really good example of that this year, right? Everybody's starting to use the rock and roll songs, and pretty much every artist is like, no. What the fuck are you doing with my music? This is the most horrible possible
I think
outcome.
Last year in my lifetime, I've never seen this happen before with a pop song. From a girl that barely known before last year was Billie Eilish's Bad Guy. I think I told you this. I went to all these different. I thought I just went I go for the cover versions tonight. What people do with certain songs, Beatles doesn't matter. Rolling Stones. Some people actually make jazz songs out of certain rock music, certain heavy. This girl must have had over 100 different variations of Dixieland jazz, acapella, opera singing. I'm thinking, I mean, the song is catchy. It really is. But people go, how can this girl do it? I'm thinking, I think people underestimate the power of teenagers. They can't do this. I'm thinking, yeah, they can. Older people don't want to hear that because it reminds them of their teenage years, maybe.
Yeah.
But when you're a teenager, the thing is all about emotion, about da-da-da, right? For most of us. That's why these pop songs...
We're acting with our gut more, our heart. Our heart is probably the better explanation, right?
Then we get...
Because, there's all this research now about the heart, mind, and they have like a scientific proof that there's like a brain and there's like your heart and your stomach. It's all working together. There's thinking going on everywhere. It's not just in our brains. Like that's what we want us to think because we're scientific. We want to be like, this is where the thoughts come from. This is where the blood pumping muscle, and this is a food digesting. And it's not at all what it is. It's like the Indians were closer. India was closer in their, interpretation of what's that chakra, meaning, you have several going up your spine, which is true. Several centers of, and like that's why they believed Harry Carey. That's one of the, was it Japanese? Believed that they could cut their life force off by stabbing themselves in the stomach because that's your chakra.
I just with the baseball announcer, Harry Carey, is going to go, okay, man. Hey, I'm out here, Harry Carey. You know what's funny is I got William Furrow played him on Saturday Night Live. Harry Carey, the guy that's spaced out. You're seeing with the big glasses on. I think when people can take someone like that, take their voice and their mannerism and put it into a different thing instead of like repeating. To me, impersonators like Rich Little and those guys, they're funny. But I like when they can put their character into an unknown state, like Richard Nixon going out to dinner. How he would respond to a waitress. That to me makes me laugh because if you stand with a microphone imitating someone, anybody can do that shit.
Yeah.
But when somebody takes their personality as they are and comes out in public, like Richard Nixon working in a trash facility, some guy playing him as Richard Nixon, that to me is funnier than having someone stand with a microphone going, I'm going to imitate somebody. Play Mariah Carey if she's going to get her hair done.
Yeah.
Because that to me, like Mad Magazine did that on TV. Yeah. They were great for that. They would take the characters out of stage.
TV? Yeah.
They would put them in positions like having that one chick, Alanis Morissette.
Yeah, and they didn't get political or anything. They're just fucking wacky, dude.
Like watching the guy really...
I can't even watch Saturday Night Live anymore.
People compare the two shows together. I'm thinking, well, because...
Well, no, it's so different now. Like it used to be okay, Saturday Night Live, but now it's just like basically they're what do you call that? Resounding, reflecting.
Do you know the funniest thing?
Political stuff constantly, and it's like regurgitating. I don't like what's going on in politics. I don't even want to try to see a funny version of it anymore. Well, it's not funny anymore.
You want to tell me I don't like Saturday Night Live when I found out that the best thing they ever did, they won't allow it to be rerun ever.
They won't what?
Allow it to be rerun. You can't find it anywhere. It's called, there's a woman named, you probably remember this, back in the 70s, a woman shot a skier named Spider Savage. She was then the ex-wife of Andy Williams, this croon singer from the 50s. They had the Spider Savage Memorial skiing journey where the woman had a gun shooting at the skiers coming down the... And Lorne Michaels said, we can't air this. I'm thinking, you one chance to give the middle finger to the world, and you're thinking, let's just tame it down. So we had the John Belushi as one of the killer bees.
Yeah.
That's pretty tame shit, man. To me, Mad Magazine wasn't tame. Back in the 60s, they actually did them...
Like the Handyman and shit, like they did some stuff that you couldn't put on today. But you can watch it on YouTube.
I don't know how Mad Magazine got away with doing the thing about Hogan's Heroes. No. At the end, they're actually in a gas chamber, thinking, yeah, we're going to have a gas now. I'm thinking, how'd you pull this one off, man? Yeah. There's certain comedy bits like that. Because what?
That's how it was for a good chunk of time. After the 60s and into the 80s, like, we kind of had some decent freedom of speech shit going on there.
You don't think we have that now?
No, it's and it's not really created by our government. It's created by the people. People are becoming way, way, way too sensitive.
Is that bad?
And they have, yeah. I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to say whether it's good or bad. But I will say that it's bad for comedians. Because they can't even fucking perform anymore. And so what does that say about society if comedians can't perform? You can't just say crazy shit. It's like pins and needles, What do you got going on today?
Might go to Pueblo today.
You do?
Might go get some new shoes.
Did you say you might or you got to?
I might. Might go. I don't have to.
Do you want to? I mean, I could take you.
My sister might take me down. I mean, I can contact
Who?
her. My sister.
Oh, cool.
My brother, my nephew came back from California. He hasn't been here for a year.
Let me just cut to the chase. I was going to suggest that we eat some shit and go on a hike or something. But if you, that's why I'm asking now. 'Cause I just want to make sure if your day isn't clear, we could do it another time. No?
Can we?
What's that? Do it another time? Yeah, yeah.
Busy?
I'm just in a fuck all mood today.
You are?
I just want to like eat drugs and do stupid shit. I'm tired of being good. You know that feeling?
No.
When you're like trying to, you don't know what it's like to try to be good. Yeah, you do. You're diabetic. I just want to like eat a bag of candy sometimes.
Actually, I do. Yeah.
Of course, you have some pretty real consequences to that.
Oh,
I
actually,
guess I do too.
depends what kind of candy you're eating. I mean,
Well-
edibles. I mean, you have different kind of outcome.
Yeah.
Like when someone said to me, "Here, John, I don't know how much stuff is in here, but can you try some of my edibles? Like a piece of cake, whatever it is." About an hour later, I'm like just going to Fred, staring at Fred, going, Because people who go hiking with me, they tell me I have a cycle. I'm all excited at the beginning, and then toward the middle, I get really philosophical, and at the end, I kind of went for about an hour and a half, going,
Yeah.
because I'm at that point, I've actually.
Well,
reached-
there's definitely a whole fucking roller coaster ride that goes along with it.
That's why people want to.
And for me, as far as like what you're giving up, is it exhausts me sometimes. Like for a day or two afterwards, I'm kind of exhausted from it. You ever get that? Like physically, like you wake up the next morning, kind of like hungover almost.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, like how do I do it?
You know, one of the most biggest
Which is
myths
different.
people tell me about when they were younger, they never got tired. I go, you ever felt hungover a day? Not in my 20s. I'm thinking, I did. Working a whole shift of washing dishes. People go, washing dishes is easy. Anybody could do it. I'm thinking, dishwashing is not for
We
everybody.
just remember. I think we just selectively remember the good parts of stuff. Because I agree. Like I've done some work in terms of remembering that shit, and especially because now I'm trying to figure out like why I ever did drink like I did, and it's not all roses, man. I think people just want to remember it all as the good times, and not think about what the consequences were, because there were some serious fucking dude. I'm sure I missed days and days and days and days and days, probably months total of work from drinking and hungover.
How does someone go, take the good times, take the bad times, I do love you just the way you are? I'm thinking, maybe.
Oh my God, where'd you pull that one out of?
That was Billy Joel.
Who is that? Yeah, it is Billy Joel. Thank you.
I used to like that song. You ever listen to a song that you like for a long time? When do you actually listen to the words for the first time? You're going,
You could probably pull the words out from any song, and I could probably pull the
melody.
each part.
Yeah, each part, yeah.
Each part, dude. I don't know what it's a gift I had, but I don't know what the fuck to do with it. Like if they still had Name That Tune, I'd kick ass on it. But I don't have the words. Once again, I can't remember the name of the song.
How about
But I can identify every song within like 2-3 notes, dude.
How about name those words?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If we could combine our brains, you and I could win that show.
Doesn't work that
Because
way.
I'd be like, I know which song it is, and I'd feed that into your head, and you'd be like, oh, it's
doesn't
Billy
work.
Joel.
It doesn't work that way.
I know.
You get to know the
That's
word.
AI.
I know,
That's
AI.
what AI is.
Are you worried about AI?
What?
You worried about AI?
No, you know why?
Maybe.
Someone once said, and it might have been what's his face, you know, with the Starlink and Tesla.
Not Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, settle down. I'm just saying, he might have been the one that actually like said it the first time, and because back in the day, I was listening to a lot of podcasts.
Podcast?
Which I don't. Podcasts by like
The
Joe Rogan.
The podcast.
Remember when Joe Rogan was like really good in the sense that he was just getting started? You don't remember when he was really good?
Please tell me when that happened. That golden age of Joe Rogan.
All right, let me just put it this way. When really good guests were first being attracted to his show, and before it got so fucking ridiculous, like there was a lot of people seeing the exposure they were going to get from that show, and the fact that they could say anything they wanted on that show. It was a good moment, in my opinion. There was a good moment, like about a year or two, where he was like pulling in everybody that I liked, that I wanted to hear from. And then it was like a 3-hour conversation where you got to really get into that person's mind, you know? And all I was trying to say is that he said, let's see, now I'm coming down. We need more caffeine. What did he say? Starling guy.
I'm listening to the words
But what were we just talking about prior to that?
of the Jedi Master.
No, no.
Not Jedi, Jedi.
I don't really like.
Yeti,
I
sorry.
love hate him, honestly. You know? But AI. Remember we were talking about AI. So he was talking about how I don't even know if it was him. I'm just giving him credit right now. But he said a lot about AI because he's probably going to be one of the people that pioneers it. Honestly.
Joe Rogan?
No. Musk. Because look what he's doing right now with
I am looking.
SpaceX. Look at SpaceX.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's doing it, by the way. I'm not giving him the credit. I'm just saying, like, he's attached to it, right?
He's got the name.
Yeah, he's got the name in it, right? So he's going to have his name in AI, is what I'm getting at. But if you... Tell me if you believe this or not, okay? AI is simply, put simply,
EIO.
E-I-E-I-O. AI, A-I-O. Shut up, man. Unless you're gonna, like, go hiking with me and feed me drugs later. I don't want to hear from you.
I had some brownies coming in today.
Well, let me just finish this thought and we'll talk about it. All right.
Have you started yet?
Is it not simply our extension of our evolutionary path?
To do what?
In other words, that's how we would live forever. I mean, it's,
Up in the stars? AI.
on this planet, because you know we're not going to be able to breathe here soon,
Why
right?
not? What's wrong?
What?
You can't breathe anymore?
No, eventually. I mean, if in the grand scale of things, which isn't very far from now, we're not going to be able to breathe on this planet anymore, right?
I guess so.
Like if we live long enough without like we don't have like world war where we kill each other that way. If we're still around, industrially speaking, like we're gonna suffocate, right? So how would we be able to live here without that? AI, robots, right? We put our personality into the, we put ourselves into our machines, and our machines live on. Who's to say that that's not the same as us being here organically?
Do you want to live forever?
Am I blowing your mind right now, or give me your give me your thoughts on it?
I'm just asking, why would you want to...
Oh, do I want to live forever? No. I mean, I'm just saying that that's pretty obviously where we're going, right?
Why would you want to live forever?
We already have made AI. This is